President Biden's name is not on the ballot. This one in New Hampshire this morning, and voters will find that out, making him the first president running for re-election to skip the state's primary in 50 years. But there are more than 20 other names for Democratic voters to choose from, including our next guest.
Yeah, you might not recognize all 20 of them, but perhaps you know who's joining us now. Democratic presidential candidate Marianne Williamson, taking the time out of her busy primary day to join us on National Report. Marianne, welcome. Thanks so much for coming on today. Of course, the president's name is not on the ballot. How do you like your chances?
Well, you know, the Granite State voters are known for their independence. They keep things pretty close to their chest. They've clearly been processing all this. You'd be amazed how many people have been saying, even as late as last night, they weren't sure they were going to vote for yet. So we'll see tonight. Nobody can predict it. Nobody can really know what's going to happen.
No, they really can't. Ms. Williamson, I have to ask you, why doesn't President Biden have your support? You clearly, you've ran before. You clearly chose to jump in the race here in 2024. What are your reasonings for that? Why is Biden not the one to move the country forward? Why would you be the one to move the country forward?
I think there are two things here. One has to do with issues and one has to do with Donald Trump. In terms of issues, I think we need fundamental economic reform in this country, not just the amelioration of stress. I want to do more than help people survive an unjust economic system. I want to change the system. We have 39% of Americans who report living actually skipping meals in order to pay their rent. And we have a majority of Republicans as well as Democrats who want universal health care, who want tuition-free college and tech school. We need an economic U-turn in this country. And neither Trump nor Biden is offering that to us. In terms of my being a Democrat and feeling very strongly, as all Democrats do, that we do not want Donald Trump to return to the White House, I feel I'm the one who can beat him. I think I have the kind of boldness of energy that the former president has. And I think we're going to defeat him by offering the American people a better deal at life, greater hope, greater opportunity, universal health care, tuition-free college and tech schools, subsidized child care, guaranteed living wage. We're going to move from a dirty economy to a clean economy, from a war economy to a peace economy. I offer Americans an actual alternative vision, not only what the GOP will be offering, but in order to repair the country.
Well, those are a number of policy points that perhaps viewers or voters might have never heard before or had the chance to because there were no debates for the DNC. How do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. And from the perspective of Democrats, we've allowed the Republicans to have all the oxygen. You guys have had debates, you know. We've heard from the Republican candidates. So by suppressing the president's opponents, you know, by making sure that they sort of kept the lid on it, because the overt intention of the DNC was just to, you know, make sure that it would be Joe Biden. We have not been having a robust debate, and the American people have not had the opportunity to hear what the Democrats would offer. That's what democracy is. People should hear, this is what the Republicans would offer, this is what the Democrats would offer. But hello, they didn't want that to happen. No. And I'm afraid we could pay a terrible price for that.
We agree with you on that. This is something we've been talking about, the American people being able to...
This should not be a left-right issue.
Right. I want to show you really quickly, and we'll close and let you go. I know it's a busy day for you. There's this recent polling we have to show you. I know you mentioned Trump. That's a big reason. We know that. But you've got to beat Biden first. That is your opponent. That is what is on screen here from the American Research Group. Biden's ahead at 54%, Congressman Dean Phillips at 32%, and then you at 3%. Obviously, you see here the writings on the wall. They're going to come at you and say, what are you still doing in the race? Do you have a response for that?
Well, that American Research Group, that's a push poll. So, no. The only poll that matters is what happens in New Hampshire today. And that American Research Group, no. You know, if the vote tonight reflects what you just showed, then, yeah, then that's obviously a message to me. But I don't expect that will be the message to me. If it is, I will accept it gracefully. But I think we all might be pretty surprised by what happens later today in New Hampshire.
But you would back Biden if you did have to indeed drop out.
I will tell you what I will do. I would not do anything that would, in my mind, increase the probability of Donald Trump returning to the White House.